Children who break the law and get in trouble with the state of Indiana may experience very different punishment depending on where they live. That lack of consistency is one reason behind a new juvenile justice reform task force beginning work in Indiana. And that task force is being co-chaired by State Representative Wendy McNamara, who represents part of Vanderburgh and Posey counties. And State Representative McNamara joins us now. Thank you so much for taking the time today to speak with us. I was a little bit surprised to learn of the lack of statewide justice guidelines when dealing with juveniles. Talk a little bit about that, please.
Primarily since the day I was elected into office, I've been the main person focused on juvenile justice issues, ranging from issues with the Department of Child Services to criminal justice to status offenses, and I might call it random acts of juvenile justice over the last 10 or 11 years. And county to county really has their own definitions of, let's say, for example, what recidivism might mean. And so one community might interpret it one way and another might interpret it another way. And so it's my hope through this task force is to get all 92 counties on the same page as far as consistency and no more justice by geography, and have them have the same opportunities regardless of where they live, wraparound services or whatever it might be. So that's my goal from the task force, is to bring consistency across the state and make sure that no matter where juveniles find themselves in conflict with the criminal justice system, they are going to have the same commonality across the state.
And the other thing that I have found out, there was an assessment that was done in order to put this task force into place. And in that assessment, they point out a few things. One of them is that right now, low-risk juvenile offenders are sometimes put in the system with high-risk offenders at risk of reoffending. And if rehabilitation is the goal, as it seems it should be, that seems like it's the wrong thing to do. What needs to happen to keep that from continuing?
Well, several years ago, I authored legislation called dual adjudication or dual status youth, and those would be youth that would find themselves in a system either by being a juvenile delinquent, or let's say, for example, a juvenile would go and commit a crime because they needed food and they weren't receiving the services at home. What that law did was allow local entities the opportunity to do an at-risk assessment when a juvenile was entering the system. Not all 92 counties have the ability to do this system. You'll find that mainly in what are called the JDAI communities, and those are juvenile detention alternative initiatives. And when you have that wraparound services for youth that might not necessarily be benefited by the juvenile justice system, but benefited by other services that might be available, that's only a benefit to that juvenile. So hopefully through this process, we have a better comprehension and a better use of these at-risk tools. Right. So that we can determine which kids need to go where. If they need the juvenile justice system, then have them go through that system.
Well, talk about that process. How are you going to determine this? Who will you reach out to, and can the public have a say in any of this?
Sure. With the Juvenile Justice Task Force right now, we just finished. We've been at it for about a year. The first part was a statewide survey of just people providing commentary to the organization called Council of State Governments, or CSG. They're a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization that is doing the audit of the state of Indiana, and they talk to hundreds and hundreds of stakeholders across the state of Indiana. What we're in the process of doing right now is disaggregating a lot of the data that CSG has collected from our communities, and the working groups will look at that data and hopefully by November be able to make recommendations to the overall task force of what our next steps should look like as a state. And hopefully as a part of that, put us all on the same page in regards to every juvenile, no matter where they come into the system, has the same type of system or same type of intake. It doesn't necessarily mean that we'll get to the same type of outcome because you still have the system involved, but at least we'll have everybody using the same language, the same vocabulary, and having the opportunity for the same types of wraparound services regardless of where you live.
Very important work, and this is something that we want to keep tabs on and follow you as this moves along, and especially when it comes time to make some recommendations. We certainly want to hear about that. State Representative Wendy McNamara, thank you so much for talking about this task force. Good luck in your work, and we hope to hear more later. Thank you.
Thank you.